Hey, it's Pastor David. I'm here with an update from the year end of 2024, and I'd like to share with you three numbers that speak to me about the kind of year we've had. Just three data points. They're not the full measurement, but three things I look to. And the first is finances. And so the first number is 73,557. Let me show you our financial report at the end of this past year. So you're familiar with this form. This is what we show our leaders each month. We're looking at the blue section, which is the year to date through December. At the top is the income, our pledge and unpledged. That's our offering plate. People who give to the church either through a commitment they've made or give outside of that, but give financially. And our total there is about $1.9 million against a $2 million budget. Our other revenues are the revenues we receive when we take in preschool tuition, or maybe you send a youth on a youth retreat and you paid a check to help offset the expenses of brain fitness compensation and so forth go into other revenues. And so you'll see that we had budgeted $5.6 million in income for 2024. We received $5.576 million, about 1% unfavorable in income. And then you go down though and by the way, you need to go back and compare and say, wait, how does our offering compare to last year? And actually our offering is slightly, just a little bit greater. So we didn't go backwards in giving, even though it looks like it means our budget was greater than we thought we would. Our budget was greater than what we actually received, but we still gave more in 2024 than 2023. And this is important because we actually spent a lot more in 2024 than 2023. You know this from your home. You have bills that keep going up, electricity and insurance and so forth. And yet you're going to find that we're going to wind up on the right side of the equation. So if you move down our revenue, you'll see the four pillars, the four areas that we group ministries and how they did against their expenses for this last year. One big number there under the Christ-like servants pillar, $63,000. That comes from the purchase of property for Anua in Kenya. It's actually a really exciting ministry that is beginning there as fish farming to help sustain hunger and teach the young adults there how to do that. And that is not just an overspend, it was unbudgeted, but we needed to record it and we offset it with other revenues. So Anua always matches their budget. The expense and the income are always net for the church. And so part of the over revenue is the offset of the over expending in Christ-like servants. So it's a wash. Then you have clergy and benefits. You'll see that they underspent. That's salaries for the staff, administration. So the ministries underspent by 1%. The administration salaries underspent by 8%. To come to, we had budgeted $5.7 million in expenses in 2024. We spent $5.5 million in 2024. You'll see 5.5 is greater than 2023 if you follow over across that line. The 2023 actuals, about $120,000, $122,000 more we spent. And yet, here's the celebration. We wound up the year in 2024 with a net positive of $73,557. It's the second year in a row that we have wound up in the black while expecting maybe to wind up not in the black. And you'll see that's why in the actual budget, we thought we would have a $119,000 loss this year. But instead, we had a $73,000 gain. And I celebrate that with you. To me, that's a sign of health and growth. Several years in a row where we're finishing up with more income or more expense than we did, more income than we did expense, excuse me. And so thank you for your generosity and for the way you continue to support the ministries of our church. It's been an interesting year, right? 2024 had the nomination decision. We had election. You read, you look, you see there's division among our neighbors and community, and yet the church moved forward, gave slightly more than last year, underspent, and finished the year in the positive. So 73,557 is the first number. Now the second number is 5, and that's for 5%. Another data point that we look at is Christmas Eve, or Christmas, Eve and Christmas Eve attendance patterns. And this year we had 1,875 people join us for our Christmas Eve worship services. That's Christmas Eve, we call Christmas Adam, and all the services on Christmas Eve. That is 5% more. That's a 5% increase over those who attended Christmas worship services in 2023, and a 17% increase over those attended worship services in 2022. 2022, there were about 1,589 people that came. And so that's just one data point, but it's showing movement forward 2 years in a row where more people are coming to join us on this most holy night and celebrating Christmas with us. Third number is actually 20. And it tied to this year, or the beginning of this year. Thursday, we began our new Thursday at noon study with Pastor David, myself, and we had 20 people come for the first day. And we're following the scripture series, or the sermon text for each Sunday, just as we are on Tuesday night and Wednesday morning in staff, just as two groups on Sunday morning are following the scripture text, and a group on Thursday morning and a group on Sunday night. Right now, we have about 150 people in our church who are digging into the text before Sunday, coming and learning and discussing. And to me, that's a growth in unity. That's a growth in getting on the same page and discipleship. And that's super exciting to me. And I'm very grateful to the leaders of these groups who help us grow as a family. So 73, 557, 5%, and 20 are the three numbers that I lift up for 2024. God has blessed us, and I'm grateful for you. I'll see you in church on Sunday.